What's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I just finished watching the Alfredo Santiago fight with Devin Haney. Okay, it was on the zone last night on the undercard of Logan Paul against KSI. Wasn't an impressive performance with Devin Haney. Okay, he still definitely won clearly. You know, I mean, you could give Santiago 2, maybe 3 rounds of the fight, but Devin Haney didn't look impressive. Okay, if you're watching him for the first time, you're probably going to say to yourself, "What's the big deal?" You know, if you're a big fan of Lomachenko, you're like, "Oh, this is the guy that's calling him out." You know, if you're a big fan of Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis, you're going to be like, "Oh, this guy's no big deal." After watching this fight, if this is the first time you've seen him, this is the worst I've seen him up to this point. You know, it's still a good win. All right, he did what he had to do. It's just that he didn't look as impressive as he normally does. You know, I think he went into this fight just like Billy Joe Saunders. I didn't watch that fight yet, but from what I heard, he didn't look that impressive in that fight neither. I know he got a late stoppage, but I heard Billy Joe didn't look that impressive. And Billy Joe, I know him. I've been watching him for years. He doesn't look as impressive when he's fighting lower opposition sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't train, prepare. You know, I think these guys just went into this fight like, listen, this is a showcase fight. We're fighting on the undercard of two big YouTubers. You know, so you got a whole new community watching this fight, and I think these guys just went in there like, all right, this is some last minute opponent, and we're just gonna go in there and do what we do. You know, oh well, Devin Haney's opponent was a last minute opponent. All right, so I feel like this, Devin Haney just looking for power shots. All right, he was throwing too many power shots, weren't really setting up his shots well. You know, there was his jab was absent in certain parts of this fight. You know, certain rounds, I'm like, throw the jab, throw the jab. You know, feint, do something. You know, he's not really not doing anything. He was just kind of lunging in with power shots a lot, and he was getting caught and countered. Okay, his jab. When he was doing the jab, especially early on, he was throwing out a lazy jab, wasn't pulling it back, and getting countered with overhand rights. All right, and there were points where he was lunging in, getting caught throwing shots, and not keeping that guard tight, not keeping that right hand up, and he was walking into some check left hooks. All right. You just wasn't really sticking to anything that worked. There was a point where he did make some adjustments early on and started going to the body and started becoming more aggressive on the inside. Why he didn't stick to that, I don't know. You know, I know that his opponent Santiago was doing a lot of punch holding, punch holding. He didn't have any inside game. So whenever Devin Haney got close, this guy would hold. You got to learn to fight out of those holds. You know, Errol Spence can do it. Triple G can do it. Terrence Crawford can do it. I see these guys do it. You can't just hold. Lomachenko could do it. You know, there's guys that's going to want to hold you. There's guys that don't have the stamina to keep fighting at your pace. All right, so you got to learn how to, you know, pull yourself out of those holds and dig to the body, because that's exactly what Santiago did not want you to do. Okay, and this is all fair criticism. You know, the kid is 20 years old. We got to remember that he's only 20 years old. There's a lot of work that need to be done with him, and this is what I've been saying in all these recent videos that I've been doing about Devin Haney and his franchise championship. You know, people are making him out to be some kind of boogeyman. Like, yo, slow it down. Let this kid develop. I know he's a young champ, but he still has things to work on. You know, he's fighting a tall, rangy fighter. All right, very long arms, knows how to fight tall, has good counterpunching ability. Okay, and even though he lacked the inside game, he knew how to tie up whenever he was in danger on the inside. You know, and plus he could fight a righty or lefty. He was switching throughout the fight. Okay, so it wasn't an easy opponent. I know he wasn't the mandatory like Abdulayev was in his recent fight, but sometimes it's all about the styles. You know, I just said the same thing to you guys with Teofimo Lopez for Nakatani. A lot of people were bashing him after that fight, saying like this guy is a guy that's calling out Lomachenko, and people are making him out to be some kind of boogeyman, and that Lomachenko's ducking him. I said the same exact thing to you guys, that fight there that Teofimo Lopez have against Nakatani, same thing. Tall guys, a guy with long arms, you know, a really good 1-2, light on his feet. You know, it wasn't easy to fight. It wasn't easy for Lopez to fight. And the same thing with Haney. You know, Haney clearly won 9 rounds to 3, probably 8 or 10 rounds to 2, or whatever way you want to look at it. But was it an impressive performance? No. You know, and I'm not saying that because he didn't knock out his opponent. I'm just saying that there was a lot of flaws that we saw here. There's a lot of things that we didn't notice before that we saw here in this fight. You know, because he wasn't boxing. It was a lot of just looking for one shot. You know, he wasn't setting anything up. I wanted to see some feints. You know, I want to see more jabs. I wanted to, change levels a little bit more. You know, throw some jabs to the body. I didn't see much of that. You know, and then when he did work on the inside and become a little bit more aggressive in the earlier rounds, he didn't stick to it. He didn't stick to it. You know, I think the fight was just a lot harder than what they prepared for. Excuse me. You know, I don't know what his father was telling him in a corner. You know, they would show him sometimes, but I didn't see many adjustments. It just went out. The fight kind of went all the way up into the 12th round, like with nothing really going on. I'm like waiting to see what Haney is gonna do. You know, so he definitely deserves some sort of criticism with that performance. Okay, but I don't want people to get crazy to a point like he's just some hype job. All right, the kid definitely needs to work on some things for sure. And I was already saying this before you guys make him out to be a boogeyman and that like, cause I'll talk more about. I'll make a separate video talking about this. I'm gonna make another video, but he does definitely needs to work on things. But now that he's young and he's a champion already, that's it. This is what happens when you become champion. Now it doesn't even matter what you need to work on. Yes, he's going to still work on these things. Yes, he's going to develop. But now you're in the trenches already. You're already in the trenches. You know, you have Lomachenko there. You have Comey and Teofimo Lopez. You have Ryan Garcia. You know, you have Tank Davis. You know, so I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. You know, I know him and Tank has been going back and forth. I know Tank is usually more on the Twitter talk when he has a fight coming up. He needs to promote his fight, so I'm not surprised that Tank is just all over Devin Haney. You know, Devin Haney called him out, and Tank is just talking a lot of trash on Twitter because he has to promote his own fight. Okay, he has a fight coming up in December against Gamboa. So, listen, he's in the trenches. It's not about what I think about him being it's not about him being ready or not. Once you become champion, it doesn't matter if you're not ready. I was just saying this about Jamel Herring in the last video. I don't think he's ready for Burchell, but it doesn't matter. You're a champion. Burchell is a champion. You hold a title. He holds a title. Yo, let's get a unification. You know, that's just the way it rolls. That's the way it works. So, Devin Haney, what's next? I mean, listen, I know he's already talking about trying to get a big fight with Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis or Lomachenko. You know, you have Loma. You know, I guess Loma is waiting for the winner of Comey, and I don't think he's ready for Lomachenko. I think I've said in my other video, I think he needs a couple more years. That's what I said. I think a couple more years he could be better, but right now I don't think so. But you hold a title now. So whatever comes your way, hey, you gotta take it, gotta go for it. Especially because he's been talking. All right, but you guys can't get mad at the fanboys. Like the kid is he's a good fighter. Definitely a good. There's a lot of potential there. Some fanboys are overhyping him. All right. As far as him calling out Lomachenko, there's nothing wrong with that. He wants to fight the absolute best. I actually still hope that he fight Luke Campbell. I really want to see that fight. I wanted to see it before. I wanted to see him before. You know, I thought that fight was the proper fight. The proper step up fight. I didn't want him to go straight into a Lomachenko. But now that he holds a title now, because the whole franchise champion thing, it is what it is now. It's fair game. You know, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. You know, it's on. But listen, he still did what he had to do. It's just that there are some things that I saw in that fight, like I pointed out, that I think he needs to work on. And that's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, he's not no hype job. He is the real deal. It's just that his approach in this fight wasn't the right approach. And that comes with learning. That comes with experience and everything. You know, the more fights you have, you're gonna learn more things about yourself. All right, so I'm fine with him slipping up a little in a fight. It's not like he almost lost a fight. If people say he struggled, yeah, he had a couple of rounds where he struggled a little bit, but overall he didn't really struggle. Okay, it wasn't a close fight. When I say somebody struggled, I think we're talking like a fight is closer than what we, you know, expected. Like it was like competitive. It really wasn't that competitive. He was doing what he had to do. It's just that he didn't dominate. He didn't dominate. He didn't get a knockout. You know, he fought a guy that fought back and made it tough for him. You know, so I'm gonna speak a little bit more because I just don't want to do it in this video. You know, I want to just to solely talk about the fight here. I'm gonna do another video talking about these fanboys because I see a lot of things, especially at 135 right now. You know, just like welterweight and some other divisions, but right now at 135, I see a lot of fanboy kind of opinions from all circles, and I want to address those and tackle those in one video like I've done in the past. But I'm gonna do a separate video on that. All right. So listen, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave comments. Let me know what you think of Devin Haney. Who do you want to see him fight next? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.